Hey, how's it going? It's Grant with the Garden of Eater. Just doing some water changes out in the greenhouse and thought it would be the perfect time to catch everybody up, do an update, as well as tackle some Neocaridina genetics, some blue dreams, as well as blue diamonds, bloody marys, and possibly what happens if you cross this and that. And before we get started, I gotta turn off all the pumps so we can take a look at all the shrimp. Alright, so really quickly, if you're new to the channel, I like to use these 275 gallon IBC totes. I do have some barrel and cans and other things that hold water as well, but for the most part, I try to get as many of these IBC totes as I possibly can. We've got the entire left side of the house done and plumbed. It all runs on these closed loop air systems, so everything runs off of one pump for all of the ponds that you'll see in this video today, and then they all drop down to a sponge filter. It's 250 gallon rated, so it's overkill. With the ponds, I only fill them up to about 175 to 180 gallons, so the pump and filters are all overkill and keep these ponds nice and clear. So we are located in Florida. We do not use any chillers or heaters for any of our ponds outside. In the summertime, the temperatures can reach 95 degrees. In the wintertime, they can reach the high 30s. We do not worry though. The Neocaridina are super hardy, and we do not have any deaths on the coldest of days or the hottest of days. Alright, before I give you the tour, I'm going to go ahead and feed everything. I've got my can right here. This is where we keep all of our foods. We've got our Shrimp Envy complete. If you didn't see the last video, we've got a bunch of underwater footage of all of our shrimp eating this in the ponds in our last video. But today, we're going to feed this Bug Pro. Bill Shields suggested it for fish, and I like the ingredients and thought it would be a great Neocaridina food for outside, and I've been using it for a while now, and the shrimp definitely love it. So it's got really tiny granules. So I got this scooper. It's out of a salty shrimp bin, and I use 1 scoop for every tub and then a half a scoop for all the barrels. I really like this food. It's kind of like a baby food for adults. It just hits the water and kind of spreads out, but a lot of it will sink down to the bottom, and then it just kind of goes everywhere so that all the shrimp in the barrel or tub can get a little piece of food of its own, and they're not all trying to fight over the same piece. But because of how tiny the granules are, I don't like to use these for the tanks inside because it's really easy to overfeed. Look at all the reds. I sell more reds out of this barrel than I do the big IBC tote. So first pond you see when you come in the greenhouse is the yellow Neocaridinas. These guys are absolute monsters. They breed like rabbits. I can sell 200 to 400 out of this pond every week, no problem, and it would hardly dent the population. Got a nice clump of moss there just chilling around, floating around. But these guys are breeding fairly true, getting less and less calls every single generation, and nice big golden backlines. Alright, moving on to the buckets and cans. We've got the red cherries, who are breeding like crazy, as I said before. And then we've got the bloody marys. I like to keep these on white or bare bottom, no substrate, so that way they can really pop. If there's any culls, they're going to be quite clear, and it's really easy for me to select a breed and move on with the future generations being the highest genetics. This is a project tank. Everything that you see here is F1 and F2. So great things coming out of the bloody marys. I'll come back to those. And then here you can see the first sign that we've been attacked by tadpoles. Really not that big of an issue this year. I think it's because the shrimp colonies are way bigger than they were last year. Also, I'm way overfeeding this year. I've got a ton of foods that I've been feeding. I ran out of the sweet gum that I got off of Chaz at Elevate Shrimp, and then I've got the Shrimp Envy foods as well as the Pro Bug that I've been rotating all through. And these guys have just been getting food every day, and I've been just, as you can see, throwing piles in there. And there's tons and tons of shrimp in this pond. Even though there were some tadpoles in here, there still are some tadpoles. They're, just like I mentioned before, I think because I'm overfeeding the shrimp, the tadpoles are eating that instead of the shrimp. I'm not even sure if they were eating shrimp. Maybe they were just possibly stressing them out last year and causing them not to breed, and kind of like the fish do, but really not that big of an issue having the tadpoles in the ponds this year. Then moving on, we got the red Rillies. I'm getting a lot of red Rilly blue bodies out of these guys. Not too many culls. I am starting a tank inside with these guys so I can focus a lot more on the blue bodies. But great little tank here, and they love the Bug Pro as well. Got some plants in there as well. They're doing great. And then we've got our orange Rillies. Never really selling any orange Rillies. They just produce way too many culls. There's so many solids. I need to move these guys inside so I can really focus on selective breeding these guys so I can get these on the list of sales. We've got a little barrel of emeralds in here. Probably won't be able to see much in there. Lots of glare. We've got the green jade pond. I know I said I was cleaning out this tub, but every single time I try, it seems like there's 1,000 shrimp still in here left behind. Little tiny babies that grow up and then have their own generation. So I've given up until I'm ready to tear down this tank and drain it all and put all the shrimp probably into one of the ponds that go into the pool. Then we've got snowballs. Not a lot of them in there, but there are some right there you can see. I've moved most of these outside into the 275 gallon IBC tote. Some red cherries in here. Not a lot though. This is the main red cherry pond. There is a lot of them in here. And then some plants. This is our main producing orange neo tub, but because I feed them so much, the water never is really clear, but there's thousands of little orange shrimp in that tank. And we've got our blue dreams here. Now everybody asks me, what's the difference between blue dreams and blue diamonds? And if you can see, this is my blue dream tub. This is my blue diamond tub. They both look exactly the same. I should get some underwater footage shots of these as well to show you guys, but it is all down to the genetics. With the blue diamonds, I tend to get only black culls, where my blue dreams, which are supposed to be high grade blue velvets, only throw me lower grade blue velvets, and every now and then I will get a red shrimp out of these guys. So that is the difference, where blue diamonds come from chocolates or black rose, and that's where you get the black come out. And I will get really patterns from both of these guys, so that's not really anything out of the blue. But with these guys, I'll get black Rillies, solid blacks, and it's a lot more common in blue diamonds than it is in the blue dreams. So that's the difference. It's all in the genetics, but on the outside they both look exactly the same, and they both breed like rabbits for me out here. We've got the red cherry cull pond, we've got the blue dream cull pond, we've got the black rose barrel, that's booming, and then we have the black rose tub itself. Now these are crazy with genetics. They come from chocolates, so you will get some browns as well, but I get just about every color except for yellow out of these. If you can see right there on the wall, there's a red one right there. If you were to selective breed the reds, that's what we call Bloody Marys. So all of the shrimp that I got in the tub over here are all from my black rose. These are all Bloody Marys, F1 and F2. And as you can see, I got really lucky. All of them are breeding true red. Sometimes you can get the genes are in the wrong spots, and they will still throw some blacks and other colors like that. So if you're getting Bloody Marys that are throwing weird colors, there probably are Bloody Mary. You can't really tell the difference between Bloody Mary and red cherry by looking at them. It's kind of like the same thing with the blue dream and the blue diamonds. However, Bloody Marys come from the black rose, and black rose really don't have any black backlines, and this is kind of passed on to the Bloody Marys. So very few Bloody Marys, if any at all, should ever have backlines, where my red cherries, almost all of the females, when they get mature, will end up with a nice little backline on top of them. Then we've got my yellow Neocaridina cull pond. Now my really inside, that project is gone out here. The male turned full yellow, and I really couldn't focus on that project inside anymore, so I moved it out here so that way they could breed and give me more Rillies, hopefully, so I can work on those again in the future. And then this is my red cherry crossed with Bloody Mary tank. As you can see, they're all reds. They didn't turn out to be wilds. However, a lot of them do have the back line. Also, a good trait of the Bloody Marys is when you take them out of the water, throw them in a bag, and then ship them off, a lot of times they will look kind of bluish tint to them. And when you cross them, that blue tint kind of goes over as well. So, very cool things when you cross some shrimp. My favorite cross is the Blue Dreams cross with Red Cherry. 99% of the time you're going to end up with wild shrimp. The wild shrimp are these colorless, kind of has some stripes to them. Some of them will have colors every now and then, but for the most part they're just really ugly shrimp. And like, they sell for $1 a piece, to where the shrimp that you just crossed them with were $3 each. But that 1% of the time when you do cross the red and the blue together, you can end up with these Rillies. And this is my own project where I crossed the reds and the blues, and I made my own Rillies from scratch. And that is why I get the red Rilly blue bodies that pop up. And then you could also take red Rillies and select a breed out to get your own blue velvets, blue dreams, red cherries, and work on several different lines just off of buying one type of shrimp. But like I said, it is 99% chance you're going to end up with wilds. There's most of the time people like to cross a new color with something that hasn't been already done before. So you want to get like green and orange in the same type of shrimp, and by crossing them, that's probably not going to happen. However, I do get some like greenish hue culls out of my orange, so I think the best way to get a new color shrimp is to select a breed, those weird funky mutations that pop up out of like breeding 1,000 shrimp. So I kind of call shrimp breeding like playing the lottery. If you're trying to make something new, that is, you're probably not going to win. But the more tanks you have, the more shrimp you have, the more lottery tickets you got, the better chances you have of making something new. Like, you could possibly make a purple shrimp by crossing the Blue Dreams and the Blue Diamonds. I did get my purples that I entered in the competition back in Dallas in the first year. Those were bred out of this colony. So it is possible. However, expect to fail the majority of the time. But if you didn't fail, you would never end up with these cool types of shrimp that pop up every now and then. So you got to do it. And then that basically sums up my little genetics talk for today. I'm sure people are falling asleep at their computers. So let's get back to the big ponds that everybody loves to see. And the first thing you can see outside is I added this privacy screen on top. This keeps out all the dragonflies as well as any of the leaves from falling in. So before I peel this back, I'm just going to go grab the air blower real quick and get all the leaves off the screen. Alright, now all the leaves are gone. I can peel it back and show you guys the shrimp underneath. However, first of all, if you can see, I'm trying to grow moss. Probably the best of it is over here around the border of all of the IBC totes, so that way it's completely covered and might look a little bit more natural and realistic. Hopefully it grows over the edges, so next time I'll give you an update on that. Another thing I did was put these colored zip ties on all the totes, so that way I knew which color was in each tub, and I didn't have to count the tubs down to figure out which one was which. So the tubs are pretty much the same as the ones inside. I've just got the samurai soil covering the complete bottom, the air filter, a little bit of moss, and this tank has a little piece of hornwort. These are yellows. We've got blues in here. And the tadpoles did come in here as well, but also not as many tadpoles survived. I'm not sure if it's because of the heat or what, but some reason the shrimp just thrive and the tadpoles just wither and die off, and the shrimp probably eat them up. We got more blues. They love to gather on the hoses. Shrimp love some good hose. More. Nope, these are blacks. Move the black rose outside. So we now have more than one black rose tub. Another black rose tub. The moss in here is completely gone wild. I'll probably grab some of this moss and throw it in the other bin. We got some reds, loads of moss. Water's kind of green, but I'm not really worried about it. I am doing my water changes, so it'll get taken care of today. Well, look at all the reds. Just chilling on the hose. More reds. Little algae on the filter. Get some hornwort in here. Another pond of reds in here as well. Then we got the ramhorn snails. Nice population going in each one of these tubs as well. We've got some back to the blues. A little moss ball. A little hornwort floating. More blues. Huge hunk of moss in this pond. And we got some orange. This moss just thrives. It's all the same moss. I really don't go for like my favorite kind of moss and looks or anything like that. I just go with what thrives the best in each tank. We got some hornwort in here. I've been taking a lot of the hornwort out of these tubs for my turtles inside, so the hornwort was probably 10 times as much as that in the pond before I took it for my turtles. And then we got the water change going in here. We got a little stainless steel mesh guard over the hose so we don't suck up any of the babies. We got some more orange in here. And I've been selling most of the shrimp out of the tubs out here first before I catch anything out of the greenhouse. The greenhouse is just going to do a little bit better in the winter. So I feel like the warmer it is in the greenhouse, they can keep breeding throughout the entire winter in there and catch the ones out of here. We got green emeralds in that tub as well as this one. Nice green lush moss. Shrimp swimming in the back. Little babies right there. And we're filling up this pond. Just using tat. We got the shrimp pet. I got that staying inside. I don't like it getting hot outside, so every time I come out here to check on the ponds, I just bring the right amount of shrimp prep for each tub. And we got more yellows in here. The filter came off on me. I just got to fix that one up real quick. And then this tub is empty right now. I'm going to move some tangerine tigers out here now that it's cooled off. And I think that's going to be it for our Neos outside. Please comment down below if you'd like me to go over any other colors or genetics for the Neocaridinas. And then hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, and we'll see you next time.